One of the most enduring strategies of colonization was divide and rule. The British, the French, the Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, and others used divide and rule in order to create the conditions that allow them to colonize various regions in Africa, in Asia, and in the Americas. This strategy did not end. The British continued to use it, and currently the United States, as the remaining superpower, continues to use divide and rule, and importantly, in the region that we call the Middle East or the Arab and Muslim world. Just take a look at what is taking place today in relations to Gaza and Palestine. Post-Arab Spring, the Arab and Muslim world is divided. And this division have attempted to focus on the so-called Islamist or Brotherhood movement, and the United States with its already existing post-colonial elites created and really exaggerated this division. And also superimposed on divide and rule is the split between the Sunni and Shia world, which has become one of the focal point to try to penetrate, to interfere, to divide the region, and to play one power over the other. So, for example, the notion that Turkey, Qatar, Iran are more allied with Hamas, quote, the Brotherhood movement, and as such, they needed to be checked, contained, and confronted by a cluster of other regional power, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Morocco, and others. This makes it possible to utilize existing historical cleavages that exist in the Arab and Muslim world for no other reason than to continue the colonial intervention and exaggeration of the animosities, the historical animosities that exist. So we could see from this, in general, that the path to so-called resolve these existing tensions is by centering Israel in relations with Israel normalization, where Israel becomes the arbiter, if not the regional hegemon, in trying to create a balance of power between the various regions. Now, coming closer today, Saudi Arabia indicated its readiness to normalize relations with Israel on the condition that the Palestinian crisis or the war in Gaza comes to an end and the possibility of a Palestinian state. But I want to actually also step back a little bit in here and to say that both the United States and Israel are playing various Gulf states against one another. Saudi Arabia versus United Arab Emirates versus Qatar, Bahrain, in this sense, trying to say that your role, your importance, your emergence in the leadership on this region is contingent on further the relations with Israel, normalizations, the Abraham Accords, and that will open the avenue for you to reach a greater leadership position, both regionally and internationally. A similar tab, but on a different way, with Egypt using economic incentives, considering that Egyptian's economy is in a very difficult situation, same with Jordan and so on. The instructive lesson for us to understand is this is classical colonial divide and rule, where Israel as a settler colonial project of the Western world that was put in place to further maintain, expand, and make permanent Western interest in the Arab and Muslim world, and paramount in this post-World War II, the centrality of oil resources, the centrality of the trade routes that continue to be one of the focal point, whether it's Bab el-Mandeb, Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Gibraltar, the Strait around Madagascar, and so on. So this centrality makes the region that we call the Middle East, the Arab and Muslim world, as the paramount area for Western intervention and Western control, because the Western economy, Western global hegemony is dependent on both the resources that are present, the waterways and the trade routes, as well as markets for their finished products. A divide and rule makes it possible to make these animosities and also to center that your leadership, meaning each of these states' leadership and importance, is contingent on close relations and the security blanket to be extended by Israel, by the United States, by Western powers. So what we see is this attempt to utilize this divide and rule to project, extend, and maintain Israel's power in the region at the expense of the Palestinians first and foremost, and secondly at the expense of the regional power and regional populations. That is about 330 million Arab population, but almost 2 billion Muslim. So the lesson for us is actually to understand this divide and rule and work our best to actually reverse it, to change it, and bring about unity as an antidote to colonization. So the lesson is unity is the antidote to colonization, to divide and rule. And through this path, we will be able to have a transformative historical future, transformative future for the Arab and Muslim world.